Is another massive Bitcoin dump coming as Genesis is looking to dump over $1 billion of GBTC Bitcoin? Also, speaking of GBTC and the rest of the ETFs, where do we stand? What do the inflows and outflows look like? We have all that. Also, Jerome Powell did a 60 Minutes interview. It wasn't 60 Minutes, but it was on 60 Minutes. And, well, it's not exciting what he had to say. Are you prepared for what's to come next? We're going to talk about how you should prepare. Also, we got news from Polygon. We got news from Ronin Blockchain. We got news from GoDaddy partnering with ENS. And a crypto bank is shutting down their services. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's get into it.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking this out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way.
Super Bowl week.
It's here.
Vegas. Floods. Rain.
Right.
Construction. That never ends. Also, Rob, I was curious, what was Robin doing over the weekend? And although I could have texted her and just asked you, I found a video on Twitter.
A dumbass.
I'm pretty sure this is you walking your bird, but Larry looks different. Did he get a makeover? Let's kick today's show off by talking about a potential dumping, again, of more Grayscale shares. Here we have from dailycoin.com, Genesis is seeking approval from the bankruptcy court to dump over 1 billion of Grayscale shares. How much of that is Bitcoin? Let's dig in. Bankrupt crypto lender Genesis, as part of its bankruptcy proceedings, is looking to liquidate its extensive list of assets. According to the filing, Genesis is seeking authorization to sell 1.4 billion of GBTC shares, 165 million of the Ethereum shares, and the Ethereum Classic shares, 38 million. You worried about the ETH Classic shares being sold, Robin?
Oh, I'm terrified. You know, I'm going.
How are we going to survive, man?
I was actually about to increase my position, but I might have to hold off.
Decrease.
On that one.
Yes.
It is one of the largest proof of work chains out there. Just throwing it out there. If you were a fan of
Stop it.
spending
Just
energy from those graphic cards, you know,
Just stop. How much does this worry you? And remember, Rob, we still have the U.S. government saying, "Hey, 130. What was that number? 130 million." You also have Mt. Gox.
Me personally, I don't think this will tank the price, but I do think it'll suppress the price from rallying. Right? We've discussed that there is a lot of new money coming in through the ETF. Not to mention, we're just ramping up for the halving, which is around the corner. And also, you know, with the ETF, it's not just the fact that Wall Street's getting behind it and there's now a new way to purchase it through the legacy stock market system, but it kind of legitimizes Bitcoin. So I do think that more people are coming into Bitcoin because, I mean, how many people are on Wall Street that are, let's just say, they don't want to buy it in ETF, right? They say, well, you know what? We talk about it all the time. If I'm going to buy it, I might as well hold the asset myself, right? That right there isn't that idea, that money doesn't tie into the ETF, right? But if you say, hey, the Bitcoin's here to stay, it's traded on Wall Street, it's no longer a Ponzi scheme, it's no longer a scam, I can get behind it. If that's now changed because of the ETF and you decide to buy and custody it yourself, then at this point it's, you know, just it's not going to be on those numbers, right? So there you go.
I think a lot of it too is, and you know, we've gone back and forth on this OTC, how it affects the price. I'm more in the camp of, you know, Robin brings up great points. Is at some point you're gonna have to pull money from your order books, right? My thing is, people see a headline like this, and Dan from the Chart Guys talked about this on our show. I believe it was Dan or Magic, one of those two. It said there are these algorithms that aggregate headline and news, and they trade based off of that. And so when you see a headline like Genesis seeks approval to dump 1.6 billion, You get the algo trading starts to kick in, and then the price starts going down, and then the people start seeing the headlines, and they act out of their, emotionally, right? Like, oh my God, let me get ahead of this. Let me put in a short position. Let me do a 10x short, leverage short position on Bitcoin. Oh, let me sell. I can buy back in at 41 or 40. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. I think that has more of a price impact than the actual dumping of the shares. That's just my personal opinion. But just to kind of see the rest of the landscape of the ETF. So this is from Cointelegraph. BlackRock and Fidelity Bitcoin ETFs reached top 10 in January flows. And then this kind of from coinglass.com. This is the Bitcoin ETF tracker. You can see over the last day, 4,200 Bitcoin has left GBTC, but we're seeing a positive flow from BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, pretty much everything. Bitwise saw a little bit of a negative flow, as did the Invesco Galaxy. But over the last 7 days, vastly in the green. You can see here, BlackRock alone, over 20,000 BTC positive flows for Bitcoin. And then we have this: new Bitcoin ETFs overcome GBTC asset losses, yielding strong inflow week. And this is what the inflow looks like. This is from CoinShares. So $700 million flowed into Bitcoin last week. The second highest is Solana at 13.4 million. Robin, Ethereum saw outflows of 6.4 million. What are your thoughts on that? So more money flowing into Solana than Ethereum. Let me ask you a question. Ask you this question. Got a $10,000 bag of Solana, or you can have a $10,000 bag of Ethereum, and you can't sell it until January of 2025. Which one are you going with?
I'm on Ethereum.
You're going Ethereum, huh? Off of the speculation that
I would say this. I would assume that Solana will give you bigger returns. But
so then how could you pick Ethereum?
Because there's more risk. I mean, we don't know. Fire Dancer could have some issues. It could have more downtime. There is a saturation of competition in the layer ones. I know that Ethereum is exactly that, but they haven't been knocked off the block yet. And if you look back at the previous crypto bull market, Ethereum performed extremely well. Sure, Solana outperformed them, but at the same time, they just came out of ICO in 2021, right? And so coming out of ICO in 2020, 2021, of course they're going to have bigger returns, but Ethereum just kept chugging along, kept growing, kept onboarding more users. It was the go-to crypto chain for NFTs, for DeFi, you name any smart contract functionality. It was ran mostly, or at least the users were running these on Ethereum. And so until they get knocked off the block, I gotta stick with where the market is and where the people are playing. Now, not to discount Solana one bit whatsoever. Their ecosystem, dApps, total value locked, the developers on there, the amount of DeFi that's
the user
swishing around
interface,
there,
like all of it, man.
They're making up ground quick. But I'm just looking at it from a risk reward position, and there is more risk, probably more reward from Solana, but I don't think it's something dramatic, right? I don't think that putting in, how much did you say?
$10,000.
$10,000. Like, I don't think putting in $10,000 on Solana or putting $10,000 on Ethereum, I don't think that Solana is going to outperform Ethereum to the point to where you're just like smacking yourself in the face. You're going to get good returns on both of these going into the next bull market. However, I do think that more likely you'll get more from Solana, but there's just too many question marks, too much uncertainty if I were to put the two up next to each other, because I know what I'm going to get out of Ethereum, and I know it's going to be a nice chunky return, maybe a 10x, maybe more, who knows.
You call it a chunky return?
Chunky return, yes.
Look, for me, I think Solana can get to 1,000, but I think Ethereum can get to about 10 to 15, right? So you're going to add a 10x from Solana, And Ethereum, you're looking at between a 5 to 8x. That's just what I believe for the time period, right? For the 1 year time period. But if we take a look and you know, there's always a new project that is fast, cheap, scalable, this and that. But guys, like I know I seem more bullish on like Solana and stuff outside of ETH, but just look at this TVL. I mean, 32 billion, and the next highest is 8. So a 4-fold difference from 1 to 2. Solana still number 5, up 28% at $1.64 billion. So ETH is still the king of liquidity. ETH is still the king of layer ones. I just believe, you know, we got that upgrade coming up that should be hitting the mainnet in the next few weeks or so. the Denkun upgrade, which is supposed to bring proto-dank sharding, which is going to allow the layer 2s to settle on the layer 1 for cheaper, which would mean right that gets passed on to the end user, which would mean it's going to be cheaper for the end user to use these L2s on Ethereum. So, in fact, it'll make it cheaper. So, I want to know what the chat thinks. Okay, are you guys more bullish on Solana or Ethereum in a 1 year time window? Put a 1 for Solana, put a 2 for Ethereum. We're talking about Bitcoin. I do want to show this Bitcoin chart here. So this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We have this this tightening wedge going on here, and if I throw on the Bollinger Bands, you can see here we started to break out to the upside, as you can see here. Right, range started getting tight. We saw this massive wick to about 43.3, and the candle ended up closing red for the day. We are starting to make up some ground, but you can see here the most recent candle, which we're currently in, we did tap this lower bound of support zone here. And if you take a look at our matrix oscillator from Lux Algo, by the way, we have an exciting announcement to make. And I did pin the Lux Algo link there. If you use that link, you can get up to 20% off. Tell him Sin City sent you. But this thing should break. Now we got to figure out, is it going to break to the upside or downside? We did get a green dot on the matrix oscillator. RSI looks fine. Nothing oversold or overbought, but we're not seeing too much confluence. If I zoom out to the daily on BTC, again, tightening of the Bollinger Bands, hyperwave is pointing down. So the money flow is still red. And so we're not really seeing a setup for a big move either way. I just think there's still a lot of overhang, a lot of cloud hanging over this Grayscale selling. Is it slowing down? Is Mt. Gox going to sell? The halving's close, and people just don't know what to do with themselves. So I like to take a look at the 1 hour, 4 hour, and the daily. And if you are scared, my friends, zoom out to the weekly, and the weekly looks really good. You can see here the weekly looks good. We broke out of these Bollinger Bands here, and now we're consolidating, guys. We're consolidating. If we do start to trend downwards, we could see a pretty big bull flag start to form, which would be a positive pattern. But 45K is a level we need to break. We've knocked up against that 43 level. Continues to get rejected down at this 42.5, 42.7, which we're at today. Yeah. I do want to go over, I mentioned Lux Algo, and so we tweeted this yesterday. So when we take on sponsors, one of the first questions we ask is, what are you going to do for our community? Well, Lux Algo, they said, hey, look, we'll give away 3 free yearly premium indicator bundles. This is about $800 a piece, so $2,400. We'll be announcing more to come soon, so make sure you subscribe to us and follow us and watch our live shows. If you want to win, I use all the indicators before I put any of the trades in. I just entered a Chainlink long trade over the weekend, and majority of it was from what I saw on the Lux Algo indicators. Then I want to go on to this, some big news from Ripple. But before I go over Ripple, I want to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. You want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow and maximize your networking, IT, and cybersecurity? You're going to want to visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video.
Also, want to give a big shout out to all the new people here in the chat. If you are new, say hello so we can jump an old lot back at you. Also, smash the like button. We got 276 viewers, 136 likes, about 50-50 on the like to view ratio. Gracias on that one. And then a couple new faces, Las Vegas spokesmodel, Mike Norm, Duke Wan, Zoop, The Crypto Report, Shane, Surge, Crypto Geek, Crypto Hit List, and Moonshine. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Ripple news. If you watched our show last week, we talked about hey, the SEC wants some information that really they shouldn't really need, and well, they were granted. From Eleanor Tourette, the SEC has won its motion to compel Ripple to produce its 2022 through 2023 financial statements, post-complaint contracts governing institutional sales of XRP, and answer questions regarding the amount of XRP institutional sales proceeds that it received. And so for the most part, majority of people, including myself, we look at this XRP case in terms of the token as, hey, it's done, right? It's done, but it's not really done. As you can see, let's take a look at where XRP is right now. So pretty flat on the hour and the 24-hour, down over almost 5% on the 7-day, sitting at 50 cents. Rob, is it are you still in the camp of until this thing is completely done and settled? You think this is still why XRP's price has essentially become a stable coin? I'm not even trying to be funny. I mean,
What?
I'm trying.
You are being funny. It's obviously not a stable coin.
What's Rocco wearing today? Rocco, what are you wearing today? Wearing XRP today? Yeah. Just for me. No, you're lying. You're wearing Sin City Crypto. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Better than the XRP. Anyways.
Yes. Obviously, you're gonna get price suppressed until this court case ends, but we're still in a lull, right? I mean, we're not in an area of the market where all the alts are pumping. XRP is still in the top 10. It's number 6. So I don't know, man. I just hope this thing comes to an end soon. It's been way too damn long, man.
Overcome 70 said, I like watching grass grow. Look, what was a turnoff for me from a standpoint of, hey, I'm an investor in the token. I really don't care. I just want the price to go up, right? Which is my bag of XRP. That's pretty much about 95% of why I hold the XRP token. When you have the founder come out and say, yeah, we're releasing 1 billion tokens to stabilize the price of XRP. I mean, is it a good long-term hold? I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you something. SEC has lost a lot of recent court battles, right?
Yes. Taking a lot of L's.
Do you think that they're going to win this one?
Well, they already kind of did, right?
But I'm just saying,
the institutional sales.
At the end, when the court case is judged upon, or there's a final determination or verdict or settlement or whatever it is, do you think XRP wins?
Okay, what do you mean XRP?
I'm just saying.
Ripple. No, because it's very specific, because it's been ruled, right? The token itself is not a security, but the institutional sales are. So what part of it are you saying are they going to win?
Here, do you think it's going to end in the favor of Ripple Labs?
I think it already has.
Oh, but what I'm saying, when it ends, it's not gonna flip, right?
No.
Okay. So at that point, you're gonna have regulatory clarity, right? In a market where we talk about it all the time. Well, Bitcoin's fine, is decentralized. ETH, it's got a future. It's been sufficiently decentralized, and so companies in America can get exposure to it. Banks can get exposure to these assets without being afraid of being targeted by the SEC, right? SEC is not going to go after MicroStrategy, right? Right? Yeah. They're not gonna sue MicroStrategy.
I mean,
say,
Robin,
hey, man,
let's not.
You're buying Bitcoin.
Robin, let's not put anything past Gary Gensler. Okay?
So it's a commodity. So it's not in his jurisdiction, right? Now, here's the thing. If we come to a situation where the court case is ruled on and it stays in the same trajectory that it's in right now, and it's deemed not a security, then all of the regulatory uncertainty goes out the window. And it leaves it in this very, very small basket of assets that are purchasable by Americans, American companies, you name it. So I don't know, man. I mean, if you're looking for tokens that get the nod from the SEC, then I say XRP after the court case is over. It's gonna It's gonna
Gonna what? It's gonna 5x?
yeah, no 5x. It might not have that short term price explosion, but I'm telling you, there's gonna be no reason that it doesn't catch on, right? There's gonna be no reason that it doesn't have the adoption that it's forecasting. There's no reason. What are the banks gonna do? Go partner with Stellar Lumens?
They kind of are. I'm not saying, of course, they're competitors. If I had to pick a winner, I would go with XRP in that niche, right? But
when the court case is over, then they're gonna be determined as it's safe to purchase as a bank. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's safe to use as a bank after the court case is over. There won't be no more uncertainty. And then at that point, it's off and running, man.
I'm just not bullish on it, man. I'm happy you are, because I'm not. I mean, look, for full transparency, I have a bag of XRP. But it's, it would probably be one of the first ones I sell in the bull market. I'll tell you that. I do want to give a shout out. We did get a super chat from the Crypto Report. It's that thoughts on Kronos and Bitcoin DeFi. We actually did a video kind of briefly talking about Bitcoin DeFi, and we had this argument on Friday. Does Bitcoin need an ecosystem to get mass adoption? Don't want to get into that argument again because it was an interesting one, but I just think there's, like, I get it. Bitcoin is the most secure, decentralized chain out there, but I think Bitcoin's carved itself into this niche, and let's just appreciate it for what it is. If you can do it without bogging down the network, great. Just understand that you're going to be running it through a centralized server, a centralized entity, someone who controls, whether it's a Lightning Network or Rootstock or whatever the case may be. I did mention Jerome Powell was on 60 Minutes, and I've got a couple clips I want to share with you. Here's the first one when he was asked about cutting rates. Here's what Mr. Powell had to say.
Are you committed to getting all the way to 2.0 before you cut the rates?
No, that's not what we say at all. No. We're committed to returning inflation to 2% over time. I've said that we wouldn't wait to get to 2% to cut rates.
Are you committed to getting...
So that's got to be that's a dovish tone, right? Like, hey, no, we're not going to sit there and say, nope, only when we get to 2%, we're going to cut rates. So now the forecast is instead of 6 rate cuts, we're going to get 4. So we'll see. We know rate cuts spurs borrowing and lending. And then we have this. This was an interesting one. I want you guys to really, really pay attention. And this is one of the reasons why I was giving Forrest so much crap on Friday about how he was saying Bitcoin is not something that, he's excited about or he holds. So just listen to what he had to say.
Another economic hangover after the pandemic is a sharp increase in the national debt. 30 years from now, it is projected to be $144 trillion.
Robin, $144 trillion in debt. That is what we're on pace for in the next 30 years. That means if you have a 5-year-old child, when they get to my age, 35 years old, $1 million per household will be owed as part of the national debt.
Or $1 million per household. How do you assess the national debt?
We mostly try very hard not to comment on fiscal policy and instruct Congress on how to do their job when actually they have oversight over us.
But is the national debt a danger to the economy, in your view?
In the long run, the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
I have the sense this worries you very much.
Over the long run, of course it does. We're borrowing from future generations. It's time for us to get back to putting a priority on fiscal sustainability, and sooner is better than later.
And, and Rob, before you comment, I'll just share what I tweeted. I said, I am sorry, and I meant every word of this, but you're stupid if you don't own any Bitcoin, silver, and or gold, right? This isn't even about being a maxi or arguing what's better than Bitcoin and what gets better returns, and it's only going to 5x. The system will collapse. The fiat system will collapse. And when it does, are you going to be holding on to toilet paper? Or are you going to be holding on to the scarcest money in the world? Go ahead.
So what was the 30 years?
$44 trillion. That is what we're on pace for.
I think that's actually low selling. And I'm not even being funny, dude. The national debt right now is at 34 trillion. And we got to $1 trillion in debt in 1981. So in 40 years, we 34x'd the debt. Think about that. So in 40 years, we 34x the debt. 40 years, 30x. So in 30 years, a 4x is not even, I don't even think that's right?
No.
Especially with compounding interest, because now you're borrowing to pay interest. So at least before, we weren't borrowing to pay interest, we were just making interest payments, and then on top of that, just borrowing money, just generally, right? Or spending more than we brought in. But I think $200-300 trillion is probably where we're going to be at in 30 years. And that even is still conservative compared to where we went from 1 trillion to 34 trillion in the span of 40 years. I think that we're going to see at least a 10x out of our debt in the next 30 years. I think we're going to tenfold our debt. We put on $1 trillion in like 3 months. Remember that?
Ridiculous.
Or 2 months. And so $140 trillion debt. No, that's wishful thinking, bro.
So this is, oh, never mind. That's not a good one. I was trying to show just because, we say $144 trillion like it's nothing. But if you actually think about just how much $1 trillion is and what that even looks like, this is what $1 trillion looks like, right? Right here. Times that by 144. That's how much money we're going to owe. I want to share this as well. And then we'll get into the markets here. Bitcoin is 1 week away from a pre-halving rally, trader Rec Capital states. If history repeats itself, then Bitcoin price will experience an uptrend 63 days away from the halving. The pre-halving rally is the second of 5 phases related to the Bitcoin halving. The first is a downside phase, which starts at around 70 days away from the halving and has a 7-day duration, and this is where the market currently is. Given that an 18% pullback was already experienced in January, this analyst is not sure that another correction will be seen, and this is kind of what they're referring to here. One of my favorite accounts to follow, by the way, guys, Rec Capital on X. And so this is kind of where we're at now, and then after the halving, you can see here a little bit of consolidation to the downside, and then bam, moonshot. What do you think, Robin? What's your sentiment on Bitcoin? And then as far as the halving, look at that, 69 days away.
I think all-time highs come earlier. They came earlier last cycle. I think they're going to come dramatically earlier this year. I don't think that we're going to get or I don't want to say all-time high, but where he eclipsed the previous all-time high, right, from the last cycle. I think we'll eclipse that earlier than we did in the previous cycle. And so summer, right? I think 3 to 5 months from now, I think we are over $70,000 Bitcoin. I think at this point, the selling from Grayscale is well behind us in the rearview mirror. And in turn, we're going to move forward into a situation where we're just dollar cost averaging from Wall Street, man. Hedge funds are just going to be slowly buying Bitcoin. Just the outflows aren't going to be there. Then you got the halving coming up as well. Supply shock. MicroStrategy is probably going to still YOLO into more Bitcoin every 3 months. El Salvador is ramping up. Nayib Bukele just got reelected, and he's gonna.
You got what's going on in Argentina?
Yeah,
Potentially in other developing and up and coming economies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just, and I don't even think institutions have really gotten exposure to Bitcoin yet through the ETFs. At least not the hedge funds, not the retirement accounts, the 401ks,
Pensions.
the pensions.
Pensions are a big one too.
So, yeah,
People don't talk about that.
They're not YOLOing into Bitcoin because there's an ETF. I'm sure they'll get exposure. They just got to take their time, figure out the right amount, how much they want to go into, have discussions with their board members, high ranking players, and talk to their financial advisors, see how much position they should get. Even half a percent is massive when you look at that, entirety of the how much money is in the pension funds. So
Let's take a look at some token unlocks. Then we'll get into the market. So a few big ones here. So Aptos is releasing around 7.3% of their market cap, around $216 million worth of tokens are getting ready to be unlocked over the next week. You have Sei, which is up 1.94%. They're having about 5%, so around $77 million being unlocked over the next 9 days. And then Uniswap, around $50 million is being unlocked over the next 1 week and 3 days. We covered Sui, right? Sui was one that we said, hey, there's a lot of insiders getting their tokens unlocked. Price rallied up, and then it went from $1.60 something to down to $1.30, $1.40. And so if you were able to make some money on that trade, congratulations. Also, we have this from Crypto Calendar, CoinMarket Calendar. A couple of big things I've highlighted here. So Ronin, the Ronin chain, is getting listed on Binance. Pretty big, as obviously Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the industry. And our afternoon video today is going to be on Ronin blockchain, Web3 gaming, and Axie Infinity. So you do not want to miss that. And the other big one here is Avalanche. Durango is running on their Fuji testnet. Some more context here from the AVAX handle on X. Avalanche warp messaging comes to the EVM. The pre-release code has been released for Durango, which is a proposed upgrade to the Avalanche network set to activate on their testnet on February 13th. Durango brings Avalanche warp messaging to the C chain, bringing native cross-chain communication to every EVM chain in the ecosystem, and establishes a standard for future virtual machines to communicate using AWM. We haven't talked about Avalanche in a while, Robin.
they were one of the earliest blockchains that was not a side chain, that didn't base their project around Ethereum, that had the EVM compatibility, right? Right when they came out the gates, they was like EVM, like, and I think it's gonna pay off for them in the long run. I mean, why use Polygon if you can use Avalanche? From just like a thesis point. I think Polygon has a lot more partnerships. I think whatever they're doing with the Polygon Foundation and the communication they have with big companies, it's working for them. But from just a technical standpoint, wouldn't you say that Avalanche kind of stands, pretty firm on itself because it has EVM compatibility. It works on its own without Ethereum at all. So it unplugs from that risk. And I don't know, man. It has
Avalanche has a lot going for it, right?
Yeah.
Gaming is exploding, right? You have the community meme token stuff, right? That is starting to grow. You have real world asset. You have their evergreen subnets, completely customizable. And what I love about from an investor standpoint, right? I'm a holder of the AVAX token. What is going to make the price of that go up outside of just paying for transaction fees? Well, one is for every subnet that is launched, you need 6 validators minimum. And each validator has to stake 2,000 AVAX. So for each subnet, minimum of 12,000 AVAX tokens have to be purchased and staked. Or if they're already purchased, they have to be staked, which essentially takes that out of the supply and brings down the sell pressure, right? So when your demand starts coming in, the supply is either going to stay the same or get even lower as the network grows. So, and they're one of the fastest when it comes to time to finality settlement, right? I'm pretty bullish on Avalanche. I think it's like my 4th or 5th largest bag. But I don't know. Do you think there's one narrative, Robin, that's going to push Avalanche forward? Do you think it's going to be the real world token asset or real world asset tokenization? Do you think it's going to be gaming? Do you think it's going to be corporate and enterprises launching their customized subnets?
Gaming sounds promising, but I don't think that's not around the corner though, man. it's gaming stuff. I'm very bullish on gaming, but I still think it's a few years out. So for me right now, going into the bull market, I'm trying to identify like, well, what is the best plays in crypto when it comes to right now, this moment, so what the returns will look like in the next year and a half going into the
Give us the alpha.
height of
What
the-
is it?
I don't know if it's gaming, and I don't know if it's Avalanche, man. From me personally, I'm probably gonna sit out on Avalanche. It's just it's in the top 10.
You're gonna sit out
It's
on
in,
Avalanche,
it's in the top 10.
bro. Shame on you.
And
What is wrong with you, man?
okay, let me ask you, which one would you rather hold right now to for a year and a half hold? So the height of the bull market, okay?
Okay,
Avalanche or Cardano?
Avalanche.
Over Cardano?
Yeah,
You think it's gonna have more retail FOMO than Cardano?
yeah.
All right. Tell Charles that when he comes on the show next week. All right, and then we got okay, how about
Not
Avalanche?
next week. It's 3 weeks.
How about Chainlink?
Chainlink.
Okay.
Okay, you answered the
Solana.
question. What about you? You'd rather hold Cardano over Avalanche?
Yes.
Just because of retail?
Yes.
What if retail's
It
screwed?
went from 5 cents
What
to
if
$3.
Okay, what if retail is screwed?
What do you mean?
How's
Debt, credit card debt's at an all-time high. Delinquencies are at all-time highs. We're talking about a potential recession.
That's in the United States. I'm thinking
The
globally.
largest market in the world.
I think that the interconnectedness of Cardano, what they're doing in India, in Southeast Asia, also in Africa, when it comes to banking the unbanked, I think that those users that they're onboarding is going to be a massive surge into their network. On top of that, they have tons of offices spread globally with a giant concentration in Europe. I think that Cardano in the next bull run is going to vastly outperform. I think it's going to outperform Solana, in my personal opinion. And you can call me crazy on that one. Remember, it was ahead of Solana for quite some time, last bull market. I think it gets there again. I like Chainlink more than Avalanche. I like Dogecoin more than Avalanche.
You like Dogecoin more than Avalanche?
Yeah, I think the same thing we were saying. I think the meme coins are going to rally hard. Dogecoin was one of the best performing assets last bull market.
Okay.
It had like, I'm not talking about like one of the best performing top 10. I'm just talking about best performing like home run.
Let me guess.
Was
You'd
Dogecoin.
rather have Polkadot over Avalanche?
No. I'll stick with Avalanche, I guess. Okay, I'd rather have Avalanche versus Polkadot, Toncoin, Tron.
ICP?
I'd rather have ICP. I'd rather have Polygon and ICP than Avalanche. I'll punt on SHIB. I think SHIB slips. Yeah.
Interesting. I want to know what the chat thinks. Are you more bullish on Cardano or Avalanche going into this bull market? Put a 1 for Cardano, or if you're a member, use your Cardano emoji. Put a 2 for Avalanche. Here's to get your guys' take. And with that being said, I'm going to send it over to Rob. Let's take a look at the markets. Robin?
All right. So getting into it, you got Bitcoin $42,777. And then we got Ethereum at a flat 2,300. Now, some of the biggest gainers for the day in the last 24 hours, Ethereum name service up 11%, Immutable X 7%, and then a lot of green, man. A lot of green. When you look at the red here, Ronin down 14%, but this was up quite substantially for the week, up 7% still on the 7 days. Render token down 6%. Internet computer down 5%. So a little bit of both way action on the markets, but yeah, let's leave it at that.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Market segment, Rob. Very short and sweet. So I want to give you guys an update. So on this channel, we do put in some live trades. We share our trades with you. And so platform we're using here, my friends, is BingX. And so I did enter a 3x Chainlink long position, and that is up currently 25%. The liquidation price of $12.10. Got in. We got in at around 1760. We're underwater on our Matic trade. And then did this thing, I know this thing is going to rally back. This ETH position we put in, our liquidation is not until 2130. But I was actually thinking about adding more margin to this one and bringing down this liquidation price to under $2,000. But I feel pretty confident. But as far as why did we enter a Chainlink long, what did we see on the chart? So we talked about on the 4-hour on Chainlink, we saw this beautiful inverse head and shoulders. I think it was on the 4 hours. On the 4 hours or the daily? No, it was on the daily. Beautiful head and shoulders, right? And when we talked about originally getting in here, we were going to get in on this break of the neckline, but we chose not to, right? We thought maybe, hey, are we going to come back, retest this neckline, and then move up? We did not. We continued higher, and you can see here we had this green dot printed on the matrix oscillator, which, by the way, not something I would recommend, but if you were just to, hey, I see this green dot, I'm buying, you would have been, let's see how much money you would have made. You would have made over 35%. Add leverage to that, and well, yeah, you do the math. But on the weekly, Chainlink looks very, very, very bullish. This $17.67 level has been a thorn in our side going all the way back to August of 2020, as this was the final rejection before Chainlink went on to rally massively to its new all-time highs. Clean break above it, and then when we did break above this level, we saw a subsequent rise of Chainlink, and I'll measure this move here. So from the candle that broke above, we saw a rise of over 240%. And then back on in July of 2021, this thing held as support. This was our final kind of rally before the market spilled off. And then we came up to retest back in 2022. Again, in March of 2022, got rejected. And then we've just been bumping up against the 1767 level since essentially November of last year. We finally broke above, and that is where I entered into the long position on Chainlink. We take a look at the oscillator here, and I'll kind of expand it for you to see. We did get a green dot. We are seeing money flow turn positive and some bullish divergence on the oscillator. RSI is starting to heat up, but we see here what Chainlink's price can do and how far it can stay in the oversold or the overbought territory. So Chainlink, now the exit price that I'm looking to book some profits, my first level of profit taking, I'm going to zoom out to the daily here. My first level of profit taking is going to be, where'd it go? Right here. And draw a horizontal line. Right here, about $24.50, right? This was support back on October 21st. This was support back on February 21st. But the big one here, where we'll probably liquidate our entire position, is this $27 to $28 range. This is a pretty big one. Again, 1, 2, 3 times acted as resistance. We do expect to see price get rejected around that area, but we'll look to see what our indicators are saying and how oversold or overbought the Chainlink market is. And so that's what I got on Chainlink.
All right. I do want to give a little love to the chat. Earlier we had the crypto report give 199 super chat. He was
Already went over that.
Yeah. Okay. And then we had Danny Boy, also over 70 Y Omark, Jans B, GE, and Batista. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you're new here, say hello. I'd love to give you a personal shout out.
Rob mentioned it earlier, but Nayib Bukele wins their second term as president of El Salvador by like over 80%. People love the guy. And then Rob, we did talk about ENS is up 12%. Well, here is why, potentially why. They have partnered with GoDaddy, one of the largest domain service companies in the entire industry, to enable users to link wallets to their domains. Ethereum Name Service, which is a domain naming system on Ethereum. So all those ones you see, blank.eth or sincity.eth, that is an Ethereum name service, a domain name. As partnered with GoDaddy, which is a domain registrar, to enable users to easily link their wallets to their web pages. This latest integration with GoDaddy, one of the world's largest web hosting providers, will allow users to connect their simplified ENS wallet addresses with their website domain. there any intricacies in here, Robin, that you're really excited about, or what are your thoughts in general?
Well, so do they offer the .com as a kind of
So here it is. You have sincitycrypto.com and we have sincitycrypto.eth.
yeah.
You can now tie in your .eth to your .com.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you can send and you can receive and send Bitcoin or Ethereum with
Their website, essentially.
with a regular, so Starbucks. But this is where I'm getting at. Starbucks.com. Can you just type it in there and send Bitcoin there? I know it's probably, I know that's not a thing now, obviously, but is that something that could be later, right? Could I just pull up to a window at a business and just pay right at their website? Just walk up to Walmart and be like, boom, here's my receipt. Walmart.com. It sounds kind of like, wow, that doesn't make sense. You feel like you need to go to shopping cart and all this. But hey, I mean, I'm logged in. I'm in your website. I'm logged in. Boom, I just sent it right there. No interface,
Robin,
no opening up the app, no clicking pay now.
Let me ask you this question on that point. There's a lot of people that say eventually blockchain is going to get to a place where people are going to be using it every day without knowing it. Is this where it's leading to?
Yeah. Wow. Here's the thing, like, outside of the big retailers, right? The ones that you already have the account with. What happens every single time? What happens every single time you want to check out, right? Let's just say you're using a website you never used before. For us, we buy all kinds of studio equipment. So at least once every month or so, I'm purchasing something from some website I've never used before. What do I got to do? I got to put in the billing address, the zip code, the mailing address, and then I got to put in the credit card and this. And I'm like, is this the right website? Do I trust this website? Seemed a lot easier if you could just go to bestbuy.com and then just say pay now. You don't have to enter anything in. It just goes right out your wallet. Don't even realize it. And even if it's done with stablecoin and you don't even realize it, right? Let's just say you got a bank account and they're like, pay what bank account? It'd be like saying, like, if you ever paid for your car payment or your mortgage and you're like, was this an ACH transfer? Was it like,
nope.
At the end of the day, you don't really care. Like, did it get paid? Did it come out of my account? Yeah, sure, it did. Now, did I pay for my Best Buy purchase through the website and it came out of the bank account as a stable coin through the an Ethereum-based blockchain, and then it got settled on the other end, ETH, but I had no idea. I just hit pay now. Yeah, so to answer your question, 100%.
Let's find out what Gravy Train thinks. Gravy Train.
No.
Gravy Train, what?
Are you bullish on this news?
Have you bought any merchandise with crypto or anything like that?
No. I'm being honest, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Okay, this is great though, and I'll tell you why. Okay.
This is great.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the average person, right? The average person doesn't know the ins and outs of how blockchain works, and this payment gets sent here and there, right? So it's good to get that outside perspective because, when you're in crypto, you kind of live in this bubble, right? You expect everyone to understand things the way you do, or why this project is better than the next one, or how the underlying technology of a payment system works on the blockchain. But eventually, for people like Ashley and a majority of the masses, they're going to be using blockchain and have zero clue.
You're going to be using it and have no clue, girl.
You're using it right now. You have no idea.
Clue. I got no idea.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you for that, Ashley. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Gravy Train here. That's a cool nickname, by the way.
You.
Yeah. Someone asked, where's her emoji? The gravy is her emoji.
No.
Bad news, Robin. Bad news. First U.S. bank that let customers keep crypto in their checking account is exiting. You want to take a guess why?
Elizabeth Warren.
What?
Elizabeth Warren?
Almost. Vast Bank, which is an entity claiming to be the first U.S. banking institution to allow its customers to buy, sell, and hold crypto alongside a traditional checking account, has shuttered its mobile crypto banking app and declares its intent to exit our industry. Say quote from it's from their website, their FAQ website. To strategically align our operations effective Wednesday, January 31st, we'll be disabling and removing the Vast crypto mobile banking application from Google and Apple, which means your mobile banking, your crypto mobile banking, including any digital assets held in custody, will be liquidated and closed. And well, here's the reason why, Robin, because the bank was issued a consent order from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency in late 2023. And then in November 2023, not long after this order, they decided that, hey, we are going to leave crypto. So another case study of essentially companies that are servicing our industry are being bullied and essentially given an ultimatum. Look, we're not telling you what to do, but if you continue to offer crypto services, probably not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At this point, just use the ETF for Bitcoin and then offshore exchanges for everything else. Or Coinbase.
But do you see, maybe not now, maybe under a different SEC head, maybe under a different administration that's sitting in the White House, are we going to see more of this, Robin, to where people can log into their Bank of America, Chase?
I think if we get a shakeup at the SEC with who's the head honcho, the chairman, I think it's going to change for the better. I think in a year from now, I think we're going to look back and be like, thank God we are done with this SEC nonsense where they're trying to stop everything. I think we're gonna transition to an
integrated system,
or at least a pro crypto country in stance. Now, I don't think we're gonna be incentivizing adoption, but I do think that the government will.
What do you mean by incentivizing?
They're not going to incentivize. They're not going to have pro campaigns for, and I don't mean like for president, but I don't see a scenario where we have a marketing blitz from Congress, from the government on crypto, right? I think that we quietly start removing the roadblocks, we quietly remove the roadblocks so that way the big companies in America can make money. Because what they're doing now is they're positioning themselves. The ETFs are up. The futures have been running for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. The ETF for ETH is probably going to come out. We'll probably get a few more after that as well over a shorter time period. And so I think Congress just takes they take their hands out. They put their hands up. Take off the handcuffs, bro.
Sorry. Rocco's having a lot of fun back there.
Yeah.
Here we go, Robin. Polygon, their on-chain metrics hints at a mega rally ahead.
Mega rally.
Let's take a look at what the Polygon chart says. So again, we did show you we are underwater on our Polygon-matic position. Let me pull up the Polygon chart here.
I don't know when this thing's gonna break out, but it is.
Well, here's the thing. If you believe we're in a bull market, you're a long-term bull, right? As long as you know where your liquidation point is, you're really kind of safe, right? And so this is kind of what we saw on Polygon Matic, right? We saw a potential head and shoulders, which didn't play out, right? It just this could have been a right shoulder, but it continued to spill off, and we didn't come back and retest this trend line. And so where are we looking at now? Let's throw on the Bollinger Bands and see what kind of volatility. So the bands are tightening, and so we are at a key level as far as volume. A lot of bid and sell orders coming in. Looking at the matrix oscillator, money flow is still red, but the hyperwave is on the up, and we did get a green dot printed here on this candle. It's on Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But again, Bollinger Bands are contracting. We're seeing RSI kind of diddle in the middle here, right around 47. And we're at a key level as far as volume. And so when this thing breaks out, expect it to go to about 81.7 cents, I would say almost immediately. And the next levels that we'll be looking at, and I'll take away the volume. I'll keep the volume, and I'll take away the Bollinger Bands. If we do, we're going to zoom out to the daily, just kind of see where are some levels of resistance we could potentially see. You can see here this massive wall of volume. I mean, look at that. Going all the way from around 75.6 cents to about 93 cents. And so first thing we got to do is we got to reclaim this 83-cent level. After that, there's really nothing until about 94 cents. And then obviously, of course, looking to see what the matrix oscillator, what some of the price action concepts are telling us. But this is a position. I'm going to kind of swap back here, take a look. So our liquidation price on Matic is 72 cents. 72 cents, which would put us above this. Oh yeah, which would put us above this right here. This level right here around 72 cents. You can see here on the daily, very, very strong support. We saw a massive red candle, and then we shot right back up the very next day. We wicked down here back on November 2023, and then briefly wicked below, but came right back up. So after we reclaimed this level on a wick, we saw a rally of about 14% from Polygon Matic. And so long-term bullish on Polygon, not really fearful of getting liquidated. If we do start to test this 72 cent region, we'll probably be looking to add more margin to our Polygon position.
All right. I do want to call on the chat for last second. Ola train. So put Ola in the chat. Let's see if we can get, we got almost 400 people here watching. So let's see if we can get a couple hundred Olas in the chat. Let's see how many, how fast we can get this chat rolling. So I'll put a Ola for the team here. There you go.
Well, Robin's doing that. Tomorrow is Rate My Portfolio Day. If you would like your portfolio rated live on the show, we'll give our thoughts. We'll give you a rating 1 through 10. Make sure to submit your portfolios on Twitter. DM us on, I keep saying Twitter, on X. DM us on X, or send an email to admin@sincitycrypto.io. And if we pick yours, we'll keep you anonymous. We'll rate your portfolio. All we need is what coins are you holding, what percentage of your portfolio, what's the total worth, and how much or what is the goal of your portfolio? Are you looking to pay off a house? Are you looking to 10x, 20x, 30x, whatever the case may be? Let us know. We'll pick one tomorrow and we'll rate it live on the show. And I did mention Super Bowl weekend. Robin, front row table at the Wind Field Club for Super Bowl, whatever number that is, could be yours for the low price of $1 million.
I've sat there. It's a pretty nice view. Will I sit there on Super Bowl for $1 million? Hell no.
One day, my friend. One day.
I don't know.
Sure, the Super Bowl. Unless one of y'all got an extra $1 million laying around, you really want us to go to the Super Bowl, we'll give you our ETH address.
But here's the thing. Honestly, think about it this way. Okay. It's not that big of a ripoff. And then why do I say that? Because you can fit like 10 people in that booth. That's $100,000. You get 10 people to go in on this. And all the drinks are included. And so if the get-in price is $8,000 per ticket to be up in the nosebleeds, then
spend an extra $92,000.
Spend an extra $92,000. And the drinks are included.
Yeah.
And you got a personal waitress.
$10 vodka Red Bulls are included, as many as you can.
No, you get the whole bottle and then they just leave it on the table.
Yeah, a $50 bottle.
But you do have that customary 20% tip too. So
yeah, that should be real exciting. Guys, that's all we got for today. Do want to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, guys, support the sponsors that support us. If you like some of the indicators we share on this channel, you do get up to 20% off. You use the link that's pinned in the top of this chat.
We did get over 400 viewers right there at the very last second.
Congratulations to you, viewers.
47. We came up in the club.
405.
Unbelievable.
405.
Been missing.
At the last 30 seconds of the show.
That'll do it for today's show. Anyone have anything to say? Rocco, Gravy? Robin?
Actually, go buy some merch, okay?
Buy some merch.
I'll be right on that right now.
Okay.
You'll be right on that right now. Robin?
Yeah.
Poker night tonight.
Who's going to win?
You won last time.
I'm going to win this time again.
Yeah, I love.
Should I give Robin his money back if I win his money from him? Let me know in the comment section. Also, Rocco, what is wrong?
I like to spin the wheel.
You like to? Okay, fair enough. All right. With that being said, Rocco. That was the tornado. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Come back tomorrow. We have an exec from Hedera joining us, Eric Pacini, talking about everything Hedera. If you're a Hedera fan, don't miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
that
dough.
English?
Everybody know we
I don't know
here,
what that was.
folks.
It was a tornado
Entertainment and
language.
info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.